Welcome to the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig. This is the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel and you are all very welcome to the show. It is the preview show, the game before the Reds play Manchester United. We all want the Reds to win this game so badly. Look, there's lots for us to get through. There's already lots of people in the chat. We've got some transfer gossip as well. What more do you want? I hope you like the new background today. I am downstairs in my house because, in all honesty, full disclosure, everybody in my house is dying with a flu. So everyone's in bed. So I had to come downstairs, set up down here. How the hell are we, guys? Lazy Demonetization, Connor, The Revenite, Kev, Brian. Lots of people in the chat already. How are we doing? I love your stream, Macaulay. Thank you very much, mate. Really kind of you. I've called myself Ho Ho Holden today because of the background, because of the Christmassy image. I hope you like it. I hope you like the new screen setup as well. As you can see, I've given you my predicted lineup for today or tomorrow's game, and I've given you my score prediction as well. So that probably saves us about 20 questions because there's loads of people going to ask, what's your lineup for tomorrow? What's the score prediction? Well, there they are. And tomorrow I'll be joined on the watch along by Connor, which is going to be great fun. We'll be here to take you through that one from about 3:20 PM tomorrow afternoon. So you'll have myself and Connor going through, talking about the game, taking you through it. I see Red Devil Rise is the insane shit fan. Mate, honestly, it's a bit early for this shit. We'll see tomorrow. Just come back to me tomorrow, mate, after we've spanked you. We'll have a chat then. Call me shit fan all you want, mate, but there's people tuning in here to watch this fella, whereas nobody really gives a fuck what you have to say. So shit fan or not, pal, fuck off. Anyway, look, back to the Liverpool fans. We've a lot to get through tonight. We want to talk about the 11 for tomorrow. We want to talk about the Pulisic rumour. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll talk about it later on. There's a few bits for that as well. People give me some thoughts on their team. Same predicted team as me, Craig, said Mossy Wassy. Klein instead of James Milner, said Daniel Carter. Or Nathan Carter, excuse me. Not doing too well today, my dude, but at least Liverpool plays tomorrow. October, I hope you're okay. Hate to hear when anybody in our chat isn't doing well. Take care of yourself, October, and, you know, make sure you're okay. Charlene, how are you? Great to see you in as well. Red Devil Rises, mate. That didn't last too long for you before you were fucked out by the mods, did it? Oh, shit, one for you. How are we? How are we all today? And by the way, guys, look, opposition fans, you're welcome. Anybody to come in here is welcome. We welcome all fans from all clubs. All we ask is that you show respect, and, you know, that gobshite didn't, so he got booted out nice and early. Lars, how are you? Fabinho for Hendo for him. Mate, if this was what I would pick myself, then yeah, I'd agree with you. I would definitely go Fabinho for Hendo, but as it is, I think that we're going to see Jordan Henderson play this game tomorrow. So I'd be with you. I would definitely go Fabinho for Henderson, but it's not me that's picking the team tomorrow. It's Jurgen Norbert Klopp. Connor, get that shite blue tree out of my sight, you plastic fan. I know. This could be the reveal stream though, Connor. Is Craig really a bitter? Is he a blue? Is he? Look at the tree. There's red on the tree though, so I think I've got a saving grace there. Fabinho could play right back, said Connor as well, which of course he could. Now guys, look, the chat is moving very quickly, so if I don't get to your comments, please don't take it personally. If I'm a little bit behind going through them, please don't take it to heart. I'm going to go as quick as I can. Somebody had a little bit of a go at us yesterday for being 5 minutes behind. Well, it's nearly impossible to go through all this chat. Craig, you're the man. Craig, you're the best man in the world. Always remember that. Thank you, Anthony. That's really kind of you. Lars, yucky for the tree. Yucky, I don't even know what emoji that is. Mate, fuck you. It's my tree. If you don't like it, tough shit. Fuck you in a lovely, caring kind of way. In a banterful way, if that makes you feel better. Mark McDonald said, I think Shaq might start instead of Kate. Other than that, it's the same. I wouldn't be at all surprised, Mark, if he did start. Not at all. And you couldn't begrudge him a start. He's been fantastic, Shaqiri. Maybe I'm being blinded here by my Sadio Mane love. And my Naby Keita love that I have these guys in the team. Craig, only thing I would change in your team would be Fabinho instead of Hendo. And again, Tom, if it was me, pal, that was picking the team, I'd absolutely agree. But what I did here was I picked an 11 that I think Klopp is going to pick, not the 11 that I want to see on the field. Dave, how are you? Craig, soon you'll need a chat reader to help you with the flow. It's going quick. I really am struggling. Is Mark Goldbridge coming on here too? Said Krishan. Not tonight, pal. I believe he's coming on Monday to do a review of the game with us about 10 o'clock. So that should be fun. Looking forward to having a chat with Mark. Seeing, well, hopefully after a Liverpool win from my perspective. What else have we got? Floating Fox. This setup is better in my opinion, said Brandon. Thank you. Well, that's what we've done. We've taken the chat out because we didn't feel that the chat was really necessary. So we've taken that out and we've moved it so that you have sorry, I'm just moving my screen here a little bit. We've moved it so that you have the setup there, and we can put little news bulletins and we can put bits and pieces up there. Again, apologies if you do hear any humming tonight or anything. I'm a different setup. I don't have my screens all set up, so if you can hear the fan on my computer, please just accept my apologies. There's nothing I can do about it in this situation. Craig, I think Phil Jones will score a hat-trick tomorrow, said Anthony Cronin. Look, he's a joke, isn't he, Phil Jones? I'm going to just lower down my mic here because I feel I'm a little bit high as well. So there you go. Let me just lower that down a little bit, and hopefully that's better for everybody. Was it Chris Smalling signed a new contract for United as well today? Not sure if that's something to be celebrated. I don't know, perhaps you can tell me if you're a United fan out there. Is it something that you're going to celebrate? He's pretty shy, if we're being honest about this. Chris Smalling is not a great defender. I remember when we signed Van Dijk, I think it was Mark Overage, said that he was just basically a B-Tech Chris Smalling. Now, I could be wrong, it mightn't have been him, but I believe it was. United will win every time the media and fans think United will lose, they win. Christian, I get where you're coming from, mate. In these games, I believe a lot of the time form goes out the window. These games mean something to the players, to the fans, of course. But I think the players know how much this means to everybody, and they're going to want to win it. It's going to be an attritional game. It's going to be a game where people are going to have to give 100%. I hope that there's a referee looking after the game tomorrow that... who is the referee tomorrow, actually? Somebody told me it was Atkinson. Is it Mark Atkinson that's refereeing the game tomorrow? In which case you'll see a lot of flamboyant yellow cards and a lot of flamboyant pointing and running around and dancing, because he does love a little spectacle, does Martin Atkinson, when he's refereeing. Craig, are you into the rugby? It was a good win for Leinster and a poor loss for Munster. Tom, I'm not. I'll watch it occasionally if it's on the telly, but I wouldn't call myself a fan, mate. Phil Jones is the best Valencia, Chelsea, Derby County defender, said Hassan. Lazy Demonetisation said Phil Jones won't just score 3 goals, he'll score 30. Smalling extension is a joke. Phil Jones new contract incoming, said Kishan. Excuse me, mate. I do apologise. I didn't mean to be mispronouncing your name. I do apologise, Kishan. Yeah, on the eve of the game as well. It's a very strange one for me, mate, why they put that out. But look, I'm not Manchester United. I don't control the media. Boys, United are good at Anfield, said Anthony Cronin. It's going to be a tough game. There's no two ways about that. Whatever form United are in coming into this game, one thing we've learned over the years with Jose Mourinho is that he knows how to set a team up to frustrate, and he knows how to set a team up to come and get a draw. He's done it to us, unfortunately, on a few occasions, but I don't know what to say to you. I'm worried about it. I'm confident going into it, but you always got to be worried when you're playing United. And there you go. Sabrina, my wife in the chat, has just said, anyone who's slagging off blue, just remember that blue is Lucas's favourite colour. That's why we've got blue lights on our tree. So now there you go, Lars. I bet you feel like a right git now, don't you? Slagging off the blue tree, slagging off my son. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Only joking, mate. Nice tree, said Stephen Richards. Thank you, pal. Guys, I'm really excited about this game tomorrow. I'm delighted to have Connor with me for it as well. It's going to be great fun. What do you think of that starting 11 though? We'll start with this. We'll go on to talk about Christian Pulisic a little bit later on. But the starting 11's here, and a couple of people have been saying they'd rather Fabinho in there instead of Henderson. Completely get that. But I'm wondering what you think Klopp will actually go with. I don't think he'll play Fabinho over Henderson in this particular game. I mean, this is a game that requires nous and experience. And even with that experience, in the big games, the United games, the Everton games, you can get people who lose their head. Stephen Gerrard, for instance, came on the field, what was he, 30 seconds or something, 2 minutes, something stupid, before he got that red card. It happens to the best of us. Our friend Lofat, Manchester City fan, is in. How are you, sir? I can't ever want United to win, ever. I hate them, said Lofat. Good win for City today, 3-1 over Everton. Some people were perhaps expecting that Everton were going to do us a favour. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen that Everton were going to get there and get something from City. Red Tea Gaming said somebody actually made a Phil Jones own goal compilation. Nice. Oh, you know you're bad when you're putting in compilations of own goals, for fuck's sake. Charlene said I'm confident about the game. Klopp will smash their bus with a Copperberg. A Klopperberg, Charlene. Come on, the joke was there. It was available. A Klopperberg, come on. I hope everybody, by the way, is having a wonderful Saturday night. I have to be honest, I've been in bed all day. My wife's been so nice to me. She's let me just lie in and sleep all day to try and get over this flu. How long is Trent out for? I don't know if the club have said yet. It looks like he's going to miss this game tomorrow. I mean, I would be absolutely amazed if he takes part in this game tomorrow. Connor's asking, is the audio better or worse now? I don't know. Again, apologies to anybody over the fan. I'm going to try and move this back even further. Try and create some more distance between the fan and the microphone. What have we got here? Craig, I won't be here for tonight. I have family over and have to entertain. Tom, buddy, enjoy. I hope you've got a wonderful night with your family, pal. Yeah, lots of love to the fam. Everton haven't won a game since we beat them, said Paul Turner. Audio is better, said Fassel. Shit again now, said Brian. Well, what's up with the audio? Is it the fan? Is it the fan that you're hearing? Is there a lot of clicking for other people or just me? When do you go to bed, Craig? About 5 AM, Nathan. I keep really odd times. You're not alone, Craig. I've got the flu, said Cameron. Pepper Red is in the house. How are you, sir? Jose Mourinho can park the double-decker bus all he wants. He's still losing. I think we are going to win tomorrow. I mean, you see my prediction there of 2-0. I think we're going to win. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. United have pace, but I don't see a trouble in us. We could be completely shocked here, and Manchester United could come and they could set up to stifle us, which is what we're expecting. But they could set up to play on the counter, and they could set up with pace. I doubt it. I think they're just going to sit back and try and get something from a set piece. And I also think Jose Mourinho is going to come with some absolutely fucked up team selection to try and prove a point and hope that he gets something and can have some type of moral victory perhaps over his board. But look, we can't predict what United are going to do. Well, we can predict it, but we can't change it. So what we can do here is talk about the Reds. Connor's doing stuff on my screen as we speak here, so if I look a little bit distracted, bear with me. He's trying to fix the noise situation. Background fuzzy distortion sound. Brian, what that is, it's the fan on my laptop. Where I am sitting tonight, I have the microphone set up on the same table as a laptop, and what you're hearing is the fan from the laptop. And usually you don't hear that because I'm upstairs and I've got the laptop about 10 feet away and I'm using a separate screen. But tonight, because of where I am in the room, you're going to hear that fan noise. I apologise. I wish I could make it go away, but because of the pressure that's on the laptop, and it's a fucking MacBook Pro as well, so it's not even a cheap laptop. The pressure that's under, you will hear that sound, I'm afraid. I apologise, I really do. It's 4:30 here in Bangladesh, said Mashur. Mate, welcome. You're still up. Love it. You're my type of dude. I'm always up this late as well. Sabrina said it's the fan. Thank you. It is the fan, and there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. Well, there's one thing I can do about it, but it would involve me moving the laptop really far away, and then you'd see me like fucking 20 miles away. 4-1, said Fassel. 4-1 against United tomorrow. Why don't we use a 4-2-3-1? Let the Fab Four play together, said Afik. We could. That's the thing. The 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, mate, it's much of a muchness, really, isn't it? I mean, would we need to play two holding midfielders tomorrow at home against Manchester United? Personally, I'd say no. If it was Manchester City or Arsenal or perhaps somebody who was going to come and have a go, then yeah, maybe I'd suggest we play a Henderson and a Fabinho. But as it is, I think one holding midfielder against a team that are probably going to come and sit deep should be enough. I like Keita in the position myself ahead, but obviously a lot of people are going to want Shaqiri in there. Good luck tomorrow, lads. Catch you later, said Low Fat. Thank you, mate. I know you don't mean it. How could you? Sure, how could you mean it? But I appreciate the nice gesture. The noise has gone, said Sabrina. Thank you very much. My wife is in the chat, by the way. If anybody doesn't know, Sabrina Holden is my wife. So she's up there in bed with our son Lucas and she's watching the stream. So lots of love to both of those upstairs, of course. Well, mainly just to Lucas. I mean, you're alright, Sabrina, but Lucas is the man. AS Empire said, good thing about this season is that you never know what formation we're going to go with and what formation Klopp's going to choose during the game. No, you're right. It leads me back to when Klopp first came. Our front three in particular, you never knew where they were going to play. One minute one of them's on the left and he's switching to the right. And we used to play with a really fluid front three that didn't really have positions as such, just jobs. God, this chat is moving so quick tonight, guys. I'm really struggling to stay up with it. Hi Craig, how are you too? Watched the Loserton match. We were crap against Manchester City, parked the bus against us. Manchester City parked the bus against Everton. I don't think that's... Oh, against us, sorry. I was losing my plot there for a second. Should we sign a striker in January? Maybe Icardi. Icardi would be brilliant. Icardi would be one of my dream signings, mate. And I think Icardi would fit in perfectly at Liverpool. There's been a lot of rumours and links to him going to Manchester, or not Manchester United, Real Madrid, and that's going back probably 2 or 3 years. I don't think we'll see him at Liverpool. I'd love him though. I think it really suits our style of play, and I love his attitude. I like a player with an attitude. Right guys, look, if you're watching the stream or if you're new here for the first time, please do hit the subscribe button, and of course leave a like on the stream as well. I'm going to go in now and I'm going to have a little chat about Christian Pulisic. For those of you who haven't seen, Christian Pulisic has been linked to Liverpool very strongly. You've probably heard me talking about him on the stream here for months, got months on end at this point. There was a story that was kind of doing the rounds today, that said that Atletico Madrid had inquired about the availability of Christian Pulisic, but they were told that he's agreed to go to an English club next summer. Now, how true this story is, your guess is as good as mine. I've been sent screenshots of some conversations and stuff like that as well, and a few other bits and pieces that have come my way that make me think there may be something to this story, but I can never say if it's true or not. But let's work off the assumption that it might be true. Let's work off the assumption that that Atleti did approach Borussia Dortmund and they said no, he's going to an English club next summer. Now, bear in mind, next summer means that the deal will probably be done in January and he'll go next summer. Like, I can't see him coming in January. For anyone expecting that, I think you might be disappointed. But then it boils down to two things. Is it Liverpool or is it Chelsea? If you look at the betting odds right now, you'd be led to believe that Chelsea are the favourites to sign Christian Pulisic. I think personally, and this is just going on a hunch, this is just from my own thoughts, and it might be being led by blind optimism, but I think Christian Pulisic will end up a Liverpool player. There's a couple of obvious reasons why. He's got history with the manager. The manager obviously rates the player very highly. They've worked together before, they've spoken nicely about each other, and I think they've both said they'd like to work together at some point in the future. Add to that the American part of this, and think about FSG, and when they look at Christian Pulisic, what they can see from a marketing perspective, and the type of brand value he could bring to Liverpool, and the markets he could open for them in North America. Now, I know as football fans, that's not what we want to hear. We only want to look at things from a footballing perspective, and that's right, that's what we should do as fans. But for Liverpool, for the club as a whole, these things matter. You do want class players, and I think Christian Pulisic, while not having quite reached his level yet, has a lot more to come, and I think Jurgen Klopp could get that out of him. I'm not disappointed, and I hope he doesn't go to Chelsea. The figures that were being bandied around, by the way, previously of 70 million were absolute nonsense. There's nobody going to pay £70 million for a player that... Well, I hope nobody's going to pay £70 million for a player that will have 12 months left on his deal by the time they sign him. Now look, the football market is crazy. That could well happen. Who am I to say it won't? We've seen crazy deals in the past. And look at the wages and stuff. The deal that brought Sanchez to Manchester United and sent Mkhitaryan the other way. That was madness, in my opinion. So look, on this one, let me know your thoughts on Pulisic. I know a lot of people want Fekir. I know people mentioned Dybala in the chat as well. I could see that. So I understand all of your points. You know I'm the Christian Pulisic fanboy. You know I believe he'd fit in perfectly. And again, from the club's perspective, the marketing opportunities that he could open. I mean, he's the poster boy of the American national soccer team. I say soccer, it kills me saying the word soccer, but that's what they call it. So American national football soccer team, whatever you want to call it. He's huge, and he'll only get bigger. The more he progresses in his career, the bigger he's going to get. And that again will draw sponsors towards the club, particularly when you're looking at the American market. MLS and stuff like that, the football in America, it's growing. It's growing quickly. It's probably not the biggest emerging market. I imagine Asia or Africa will probably outstrip it, but to have a big American player in your team. And look, we've American owners, let's not forget that as well. There's a lot of things that have always led me to believe that Christian Pulisic is Liverpool bound. I'm probably setting myself up for a lot of heartache here down the line. But I think this is what's going to happen. I think we might see a deal done in January and him to come in the summer. Now, what I will say to you is, be careful. If you're on social media and you'll read lots and lots of stories and you'll read lots of people claiming things, 90% of people, even more on social media, are talking at their arse. They haven't got a clue. They're retweeting stuff, or they're seeing something somebody else has posted and they're pulling it off as their own. There's one or two people that have an idea, but most of them are full of shit. So I would say be a little bit careful. And that's why when I come on here to talk to you guys, I always caveat everything by saying I don't have any inside information. I'm just piecing things together, using my own viewpoints or using my own intuition. And I'm happy if it doesn't work out, because I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just have always had a feeling that Christian Pulisic will get up at Liverpool. I can see him in the shirt. You look at as well in the summer, you had the whole thing about LeBron James as well. LeBron James, one minute he was wearing a Liverpool tracksuit top, and then in another picture he was wearing the US men's national team shirt with Pulisic on the back of it. And for those of you that might not know, and I think most of you do, he owns a stake in Liverpool Football Club, LeBron James. I think it's due to a marketing contract or a promotional contract that he has with FSG. I think a part of that deal was a small stake in Liverpool Football Club. So he has a vested interest as well in this from a financial point of view. I remember reading a while ago that his investment when he signed with FSG and when they bought Liverpool, it's increased 5 or 6 fold, by the way. I think it was worth 3 or 4 million at the time, and now it's worth 18 or 19 million dollars or something. So there you go. Again, you can see the Americans are interested in the club, and we see when Liverpool travelled to America in the summer how big a crowds they were getting. They sold out 100,000 for the game against Manchester United. They were selling out massive stadiums across the country. I know Reds that travelled for hours to drive from one state across to another to go and watch Liverpool. We know how big the club are. So all I'm saying here is be a little bit careful on what you read. But my personal opinion is I think we will see Christian Pulisic at the club. But it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up at Chelsea either. But it seems like, from what you're being told or what you're hearing, the Premier League is his preferred destination. He doesn't seem like he's going to sign a new deal at Borussia Dortmund as things stand. And he's got less than 18 months left on his deal. So look, love to know your thoughts on that one, guys. Again, thank you for letting me have my little ramble on there. And I'll turn to the chat now and see how everyone's feeling. Right, let me go back through. I just had a Sprite and cranberry. It was fucking horrible. There you go. I mean, I'm having a Diet Chav, a good old reliable Diet Chav, as you'd expect. What was the young USA player that was supposed to be the next Maradona? Was it Freddie Adu? Was that his name, Kev? I think it was Freddie Adu. But there's been a couple over the years that the Americans, I reckon, are going to do well. He might come to Everton, said Gareth Phillip. He might, Gareth. He might. He won't, but he might. I think signing Pulisic would have a good effect on us in the American market, said Charlene. It would open doors for us, absolutely. I'm not bothered about transfer rumours anymore, and I don't check it that much. I'd rather Netflix and chill to Anfield Agenda live stream. There you go, buddy. You know where it's at. And you can't believe anything until the player's there signing the contract. Because at the end of the day, things can move very, very quickly in football. The whole Van Dijk thing taught us that. That deal was pretty much done. I actually went out on my neck at that point and said that I think that deal was done. I think it was the first and only time I've ever said I believe a deal was done. And it came back to bite me in the ass. So there you go. Lesson learned for me on that one. Okay, what else have we got? We can win if Klopp should get... No, I don't know what that one's about. Rather have Dembele, said Cameron Todd. The thing about Dembele, mate, is... Does he have a higher ceiling than Christian Pulisic when it comes to ability? Probably. I mean, the guy is very, very good. But you look at the baggage that comes with Ousmane Dembele, and he seems to have had trouble wherever he's been. He went on strike at Dortmund. He disappeared to try and get the move through to Barcelona done. And at Barcelona, he doesn't seem to have settled down. I remember watching a video of Guillaume Balaguer talking about him and saying that, look, he's basically almost been given an ultimatum by Barcelona now that he has to settle down, get his head down, stop being late for training and stuff, and play football. And I wonder, would we move for Dembele? Would Klopp move that type of player into this environment where it's quite stable at the minute? We've got a good group of players there who are solid, none of them causing trouble, no shit stirrers. He wouldn't want that unity within the group being fucked up by bringing in somebody like Dembele. So that's another thing we have to think about when we're bringing in players. Klopp's very, very interested in a player's mentality and how they react in certain situations. He looks back through their careers and he wants to meet every player as well personally before he signs them. Now I know he probably has some knowledge of Dembele, but it just doesn't, for me, seem like one that that would work. And he rented Klopp's house as well at some point, I think. There were stories going around saying he wrecked it. I don't know if that's true. Actually, I don't think it is true. But yeah, so there is history there, but I just don't see that one happening, unfortunately. And then, but even pushing all that aside, mate, we still have to look at the transfer fee. And they bought him for, was 130, 140 million, something like that. Liverpool aren't going to pay that for Ousmane Dembele. Not for a player that hasn't progressed at all since he joined Barcelona. Tony said more mods than fans. Mate, the reason we've got more mods here, my fucking jumped up arrogant little friend, is because we make people mods. Because we like people. We want to give them that little blue spanner. If you don't think we've got many fans and you don't want to be here, pal, fuck off. You know where the door is. Don't let it hit you on the way out. We don't want arseholes like you in here. Come in and be nice, or don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's as simple as that. We don't put up with any shit on this channel. We treat everybody with respect and we expect the same back. I've said it time and time again on here. Respect is a fucking minimum on this channel, because these people that are in the chat now, these amazing people that have subscribed, give up their time, give us their time every single evening. And I will not let anybody come in here and disrespect those people with a fucking arrogant attitude like you. So just, you know, just disappear, asshole, because nobody wants you here. Mane needs to improve his finishing. Having Dembele might push Mane to get better. Again, I'd love Dembele to come in. If Dembele came in, settled down and did his business, I mean, top quality player. Sam, you're not going to get an argument with me on that one, buddy. It's just his attitude that would worry me. And yes, if there's a manager out there that could tame a player, put an arm around him and give him a pep talk. I say a pep talk, I kind of slipped a little bit of that one. It is Jurgen Klopp. He knows how to handle young players. October said, I finally get to go to Anfield in 2 weeks when I'm in Liverpool for my Christmas holiday. My heart is full. October, that's great news. Now we want to see lots of pictures. We want to make sure that you enjoy yourself over there. So let us know. Tag us in pictures and social media and stuff when you're over there. And a shout out as well to the Anfield Agenda Instagram account. I keep forgetting that this exists, but now we have a more active. We've got people running the account for us. If you're looking to give us a follow on there, it's really simple. It's just Anfield Agenda. Very straightforward, very simple name. Go on there. Kev's looking after the account. He's going to be posting up all our pictures, streams, notes, everything. I don't know how Instagram works. I'm old. Look at me. I don't know how Instagram works. But there are people more placed than me within our little group that know how to work Instagram. So look, follow Anfield Agenda over there. Come across, of course, and give us a follow on Twitter. It's at Anfield Agenda. You can see that there in the screen below me. It's scrolling across now. And if you want to give me a follow, my name on Twitter is at Craig the Host. So that's at Craig the Host. And of course, Connor, you're still at Connor Crosby. I don't know, mate. You're changing it every 2 days. But one day you're over there and it's at Connor. Next day it's fucking Christmassy Connor. I don't know what you're at these days. But feel free to put it in the chat anyway, buddy. Red Heat game until I've won fear for the game tomorrow that it can turn out differently. Love it, Craig, said Dave Fagan. Look, I won't have it, mate. I just won't have it. I won't have people coming in here and acting like Billy Big Bollocks and calling people out and acting like an arsehole. Well, no. We built this group of really nice people, and we often get commented by even other fans that come into the chat how nice people in our chat are. And I take pride in that, and Connor does as well. It means a lot to us that we've this lovely group of people here. So I'd rather have half the subscribers but appreciate the people that are in here and like the people that are in here than have fucking hundreds of thousands and just have arsehole after arsehole after arsehole commenting through it. So yeah, fuck them. Why no Shaqiri in your lineup, Craig? Said Liverpool, New York City. It was a tough call, buddy, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Shaqiri in there. I'd be happy as fuck to see him in there. I just love Naby Keita, and I think if we're struggling in this game, if we get to 65, 70 minutes and we haven't yet broken them down and we're frustrated like we've been in previous games, then having a Shaqiri to come off the bench when United legs are tiring with that little bit of magic, that little bit of spark. You know, sometimes he's like, what's the dog I'm trying to think about? A little Yorkshire, not a Yorkshire Terrier, a little Bull Terrier or something. He just snaps at people's heels. He doesn't give them a second. And I think with tiring legs, if we're chasing a game or trying to break them down, that he might be handy to come off the bench. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if he started at all because he's an excellent player. He's doing really well for us and I've nothing against the lad. Was Craig on the United stand? Is there a link? I was on there on Thursday. I haven't got a link here. I won't post it up because I'm live. But yeah, I was on there on Thursday. I had a chat with Mark about the game. And Mark will be on here on Monday night to do a review show of the game. So if there's anyone that knows who Mark Goldbridge is, I'm sure a lot of you probably do. He'll be popping over on Monday night to do a review of the game with us. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. I'm hoping that it's after a Liverpool win. What else we got? Want Fabinho over Henderson, Van Dijk captain, and Shaqiri to bring off the bench for Gini. Said Football James. Mate, I'm with you. If I was picking this team, James, for myself, I would have Fabinho in there over Jordan Henderson. Because I think at the moment, although we had a brilliant game against Napoli, and I have to give credit, as did Milner, as did Wijnaldum. All credit to them. But for me, yeah, I'd agree. Henderson in. Van Dijk captain, well, not if Milner was on the field, because Milner's the vice captain, so if Milner's playing right back, then he's going to get the captain's armband. But I do agree with you with the Fabinho over Henderson thing. I just think experience might come into Klopp's mind for this game, and Jordan Henderson has plenty of experience of big games in the Premier League. What else have we got? Do you think, please put us out of our misery, said Bio 2.0. I've no idea what that's about, pal. Well, I honestly don't know what that's about. Unless you're a United fan who wants Jose to get the boot, then I understand your post. Do you think it would be a bit more if you went for Pulisic though, Craig, with us and Chelsea? No, Tony, not really, mate, because I think the player might have something to say in this. If he had his heart set on a move to a specific club, then I'd imagine that there wouldn't really be much the other club can do about it, because Christian Pulisic does hold some cards in this situation, because he can run down his contract. He could say to Dortmund, I'm not moving to Chelsea, I'll run down my contract and I'll join Liverpool for free. There you go. This is all just hypothetical, by the way. I know absolutely nothing. Jason Russell said, I don't think Naby's 100% ready to start a game of such magnitude. Shaqiri will be the smart choice. Keita is a bold one. Keita's class though. I have such faith in that fella. But I understand where you're coming from. I absolutely get you. And I'd have no problem. I'd no problem whatsoever with Keita not starting that game and Shaqiri starting it. I'd completely understand that decision. Get Koulibaly as cover while Gomez is out. Yeah, just drop the 100 million. Get him in for 6 weeks. Actually, it'll probably be 3 weeks by the time the window comes around. What are the blue spanners, guys? They're mods of the channel, mate, which means that they basically can help us out in the chat. They can boot out any trolls. They can mute people, all that type of stuff. They basically cover my backside. Luke changed his name to Liverpool fan. When you say trolls, do you mean my wife? Said Lance. No, not personally, mate. I don't know the lady. Start Fabinho as right back. Milner, 33 years old. Klopp might be asking too much from him after Napoli. Fabinho needs to start playing now. Again, Sam, mate, I would have no problem with that either. It's another good shout. Fabinho at right back, he's very capable. Played there for Monaco. Played there at Real Madrid, I think, when he started his career. Milner, yeah, he's 33 years old, but he's James Milner, for Christ's sake. He is the fittest person in our squad. But even at that, he's played a lot of games, and he had a touch of cramp, I think, after the game. But Klopp, in his press conference, seemed to suggest that he was ready to go. So I'm with you either way. Fabinho in that team anywhere is fine with me. So I'm just trying to have a guess at Klopp's team for tomorrow. So yeah, that's just what I think he might do, but I've been wrong pretty much every week so far. Did you get any new subs from being on the United stand? I think we did. I think we got a couple of hundred anyway. I'm fairly sure we picked up a couple of hundred. We've nothing to fear tomorrow. To take the game to them and they'll crumble, said Brian Morrissey. We have nothing to fear. You're absolutely right. Get the stream to 100 likes, said Nathan Carter, so please do. If you're watching, guys, it only takes a sec. Please do hit that like button. Sorry, I'm just going to fix my collar because this fucking thing is annoying me. Yeah, please do. Please hit the like button. Solid prediction tomorrow from Phantom Cross. He's gone with 3-0. We need to start Keita, Fabinho and Shaqiri, said Furno. That'll be a nice midfield trio as well, mate. But Gini, does Gini deserve to be dropped? He's been pretty damn consistent this season. No problem, Mark. Not a worry at all. I don't know why. I just can't see. I can see a 0-0 game happening tomorrow. Oh, not another one, mate. No. I could. That's the worst thing for me to happen tomorrow, is for us to have to sit through another fucking frustrating 0-0 with Liverpool knocking and knocking and knocking, and United just holding out. That is just the worst thing. I don't want that to happen. An early goal would open this game up so much tomorrow. The Revenite said 5,900 subs, 100 to 6,000. Let's go. Hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. Yeah, it's amazing. It doesn't seem that long ago. It seems like only a couple of weeks that we were talking about hitting 5,000, and now here we are knocking on the door of 6. It's brilliant, and long may it continue, and thank you to all our new subs. James Philip Milner is only 32. Don't age him, said October. There you go. You can't get away with anything on here. Nothing at all. Lost tomorrow and Mourinho surely has to get the sack, said Bio 2.0. I don't know. Is it a money thing? If there's any United fans currently watching the stream at the minute, I'd love to know. Do you think it's a money thing that he's still here? Do you think the board just don't want to pay him out? Because what's he on? 7-8 million a year, something like that, Mourinho? He could be on more, I'm not sure. But do you think that's the reason why? Because I'm struggling to see why he's still at the club. I mean, he's been here, what, 3 years now maybe? And he's won a couple of things, fair fucks. Hasn't won a Premier League title. Finished second last year, but let's be realistic, was nowhere near winning the league title. So, has he done a good job? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. I don't really watch United enough to know quite how boring they are or quite how bad they've been. All I can go off is our games against them Probably watch a couple of other big games during the season, but other than that, why would I? I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan. Liverpool legend said we must score early as United may well scrape an equaliser. Yeah, we know they can do that as well. Long balls up to Fellaini, little knockdown. I can just see it in my head. I think I said that when I was on with Mark. I can see an actually young free kick towards the back post and Fellaini to just rise above, elbow somebody in the head on his way and knock in an equaliser, and for us all to be on here fucking fuming tomorrow. Paul Banks said liked and subscribed. Thank you, sir. That means a lot. Very, very glad to have you on board. You wearing the famous red t-shirt that you wore versus Napoli, said Scotty. Honest answer, I haven't thought about it, Scotty. I haven't talked to it yet. I'll go up later on. I'll have a little chat with the red shirt. I'll see how it's feeling about tomorrow, and I'll see if it thinks that it deserves to be worn. I do have a 100% record with that shirt, so there's a lot on the line with wearing that one. Jason Russell said, Egghead, you look like Dwayne Johnson in that Under Armour jacket on. I fucking wish. I wish I looked like The Rock. Maybe look like The Rock's fat little aging brother, perhaps. I have a ridiculous feeling that we'll win 1-0 tomorrow, said Kamal. Or is it Camille? Or Kamil or Kamal, excuse me if I mispronounced. Yeah, 1-0 would be a tough one as well. It'd be great. At the end of the day, I'd take a 1-0. But it would be a tough watch at the end. Anfield, it will be Bus Central tomorrow, said Claire. Is Milner only 32? Seems to have been around forever, said Christopher. Mate, he is. He's like Benjamin Button. That's what we keep saying. He is a superstar. You know, pre-season when people come back and they do all these fitness tests or bleep tests. I don't know what they call these days. For my old school days, it was a bleep test. Milner wins them every single year. That's how fit the dude is. He lives a very clean lifestyle. I believe he doesn't drink alcohol and he's always taking care of himself. He never lets himself go during the summer windows and stuff when they're on holidays. You see other players sometimes come back. I'm not pointing any fingers here. Eden Hazard, a little bit overweight. Some stories of that these players who I'm not pointing fingers at Eden Hazard like a burger or two too much. And I mean, who am I to slag? Look at me. I clearly like a burger. I like a lot of them, but I'm not a professional athlete. What if Firmino switched position with Mane and his position is filled by Sturridge? Do you really want Mane sitting in front of goal after that performance in midweek, playing central? And no, jokes aside, again, I mean, Sturridge can do a job without a shadow of a doubt. This is just the team I think Klopp would go with. We can make an argument as to why Sturridge should start. We can certainly make an argument as to why Fabinho should start, why Shaqiri should start. But that's the beauty of having a good deep squad, is that we have players that we feel have missed out or should be playing. And that's, I suppose, a sign that we've come a long way in the last few years. I'll never forget looking at that bench in the Champions League final last year when we were looking for a hero. We were looking for somebody to come on. And we had an unfit Lallana, an unfit Chan, and fucking Divock Origi or something on the bench. I mean, that is not a bench you want to go to come off and win a Champions League game when you're behind. It just isn't. Whatever we say about it, we've come a long way in a short period of time. It's all about money, Craig. They don't want to pay his £15 million release clause. That's crazy, isn't it? Because look at it this way. If United don't qualify for the Champions League this year because of Jose Mourinho's antics and because of the way he's managing that squad and the apparent look from the outside that some players just aren't playing properly, that's worth more than 15 million quid. So you'd imagine that rolling the dice now while there's still time, sacking them and bringing somebody in, even if they haven't got money to spend or much money to spend, that could just get more out of the players that are there. Particularly Paul Pogba. I mean, as a United fan, you must be scratching your head going, where's the Paul Pogba that was at Juventus? Where is he? And look, yes, Paul Pogba isn't the most tactically disciplined footballer, but what you get out of him sometimes is you get moments of brilliance, and when he's at it in midfield with his big physique and his attacking prowess, he can stride past players like they're not there. But you're not getting that out of Paul Pogba from what I've seen from the outside. So if somebody else came in and took Mourinho's place, maybe they get more out of him. I don't know. Am I happy to see United doing shit? Damn right I am. I hope Mourinho stays there forever. And everybody whiles in this pit of misery that Mourinho was brought to the club. Because he looks like a miserable bastard. Since day one, he's come in there and he's looked like a sour-faced fucker that doesn't want to be there. It's crazy. It's madness. I expected more from a club like Manchester United. And I had a chat with somebody yesterday on the channel here, and I remember them saying to me that when he came in at the time, they understood why he was signed. He was a good it was good to stabilise where they were, I suppose, and kind of stop the rot that was happening under Louis van Gaal and David Moyes. But now, you know, you get 3 years out of Mourinho. You get these 3-year cycles with him. And I don't think United have seen the best out of that 3-year cycle. I mean, they haven't seen the impact that Inter Milan seen, haven't seen the impact that Real Madrid seen, or the Chelsea have seen. So, I don't know if his methods are old school. I don't know if football has passed by Jose Mourinho anymore. But what I can say is from the outside, he looks like a bitter, angry little man. And it's having an effect on the look of Manchester United from the outside. Again, just my perspective. I'm not a United fan. I'm sure you guys don't give a fuck what I think. What is the payout to sack him? Can't be mathematically make top 4. Exactly what I was saying, Byron. It makes sense if the payout is 15 million that they sack him. Mourinho believes Istanbul... What's this? Mourinho believes Istanbul winning Champions League team is better than today's team. What does anybody think? It's not. There's no way that the team we won that Champions League final with is better than the team that we have now. I'm sorry, it just isn't. And yes, Stevie G was in it. Yes, Carragher was in there. And yes, there was great players in that team, but there was an awful lot of weaknesses in there as well. I know he was the hero, but let's look at Dudek. I mean, Dudek is not anywhere near as good as the keeper we have now. You have Harry Kewell starting that game, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so just know. I think Mourinho is just trying to stir shit yet again. Kamal said I'm a United fan. 1-0 for us, in his opinion. Of course, mate. I expect nothing less than for you to predict a win for you, because I'd do the same if it was the other way around, no matter how bad we were. Pogba is still in Italy, said Claire. Never showed up in the Premier League. Think of it, United could have brought in Pep, Klopp or Pochettino. If they took any of those managers, United would win the Premier League. It is... Well, look, they were never getting Pep. I know he met with Sir Alex Ferguson. I think they had a meal together or something, and Fergie tried to get in his ear, but that deal to bring Pep to City, I think that was done a long time ago. But yeah, you're right, they could have brought in other managers. I never understood why they went for Mourinho. Layout looks cool, said Kev. Thank you, mate, but it's not down to me, it's down to Connor, of course, because you know I'm technically ridiculous. Just an absolute cabbage when it comes to stuff like that. The payout clause is 20 million if we sack him now, but if we sack him when we mathematically can't get top 4, it's 5 million, said Romelu's first touch. Thank you for that one, mate. I do appreciate you putting it in. There's some difference there, but again, what's the difference to that and not qualifying for the Champions League, mate? You know, there's a 15 million difference there, but it's worth much more than 15 million for United to qualify for the Champions League. Is it too far gone at this point already, maybe? Is that why the club are sitting back? I don't know. I liked Harry Kewell, said Sam. I liked him when he came in. I mean, when we signed him from Leeds, I remember thinking, that's it. We've sorted out the left-hand side now. That left-hand side position that's been dogging us for years has been sorted out. I remember screaming at the club to get Damien Duff. I wanted Damien Duff at Liverpool so badly. And when we got Harry Kewell in, I thought we'd solved it. Because he was so good at Leeds. He just didn't bring that to Liverpool. The Real Cloud said, Pogba has been so bad for us. Should have stayed at Juve. He was doing bits for Juve, mate. I mean, I'm sure you know. He was damn good over at Juventus. I mean, he looked like a completely different player. And that was under Allegri as well. So a manager there who's quite tactically astute and expects a lot from his players. But there has to be some players in any team that gets that little bit more freedom, because they have that little bit of spark or creativity around them. And, you know, he's one of those players. My mate's a United fan. He always said United, when Fergie left, and not the same attitude as the team when Fergie was there. Mourinho was bad advertising material, said Rod. Again, Brian said, one of my mates is a big United fan. He can't see the game live because his band are playing on the Podge and Raj. So yes, Brian, nice. For anyone who doesn't know, Podge and Raj are two kind of puppets here in Ireland that are on TV, but they're absolute legends. Absolute legends. And they record tomorrow afternoon. There you go. I'm delighted for his band though, Brian. That's great news. Podge and Raj show, nice one. Charlene said they tried to get our KLOPP, but Klopp wanted us because we're the perfect club for him, a match made in heaven. And Candy Kane said, I'm a Bristol City fan, but I like Liverpool. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that one. Was it Bristol City that were playing Norwich earlier on? It was 2-2. Was that Bristol City? I think it was. Or was it Bristol Rovers? I think it was City. It was 2-2 last I seen. And Charlene, you're right. Klopp and Liverpool are a match made in heaven, and that's what's so good about it. He fits this club so perfectly. Claire said, I had a dream last night that Stevie G came back and played at right back against United and got us a hat-trick. Not too bad for a right back. Bangkok Cowboy said, despite the 16-point difference between the sides, United have a great record against Liverpool down the decade, so a scrappy 1-0 win would do him. And Romelu's first touch said, we haven't sacked Mourinho yet because our board are clueless and because we're out of the we're not out of the Champions League yet. Yeah, do you know what, mate? I get where you're coming from. There does seem to be issues around the board at United, and again, I'm only saying this from the outside. What's this one? Sorry, there was another comment there I want to read. When Man United can't mathematically get 4th place, then Mourinho will be sacked, said Trevor Weaver. Pogba's an overpriced Balotelli, said Kev. Please look at the recent pick Mark Goldbridge put up. I can't look at it now, but I'm sure somebody can describe it to me. Actually, I can't look at it now. Do I have my phone? Fuck it, I'll do it. We're live on air, but you know what? Why not? Let's have a little look-see. I'm sure this isn't making great viewing for everybody else, but what have we got? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God almighty. If anybody doesn't, I can't say what that is, but it is funny. But it is there if anybody wants to go and have a look at his Twitter account. Oh, you lads are fucking legends. I love the way people know my sense of humour and put that in the chat because you know I'd like it. Well done. I think we should win 3-0 or 3-1, said G.I. Jose. I hope you're well, mate, by the way. I hope you're keeping well. I know you said things weren't great at the minute, but I hope all is well. I hope you've got everything ready for your little lady for Christmas. LFC_5 said the only players from that 0-5 squad in Istanbul that will get in this squad is Gerrard, Alonso, Garcia, Cara and Hipia. I can't see Garcia starting, to be honest. He might get in the squad, but I can't see him getting near the starting 11. He was far too frustrating to watch. One of those players that could give you moments of unbridled brilliance and moments of stupidity within the same game. Christopher McVicker's team for tomorrow is Alisson, Klein, Lovren, Robbo, Hendo, Gini, Shaqiri, Mane, Firmino, Salah. So you're going for Klein at right back. The only thing that really stopped me putting Kleiny in there is that he's just coming off an injury and he probably won't be able to put in 90 minutes. So that's one substitution that Klopp has taken out of his hands straight away if he plays Kleiny in there. He knows he's going to have to remove him after 65, 70 minutes. And that takes away from stuff he can do tactically in other parts of the field. So if you put a James Milner at right back, a Fabinho at right back, you're going to be able to get the full 90 minutes out of them. My friend here in Portugal will support the special one forever. That's good that you're backing your manager, mate. You're never going to get slagged from me for backing your manager. Fans see things in different ways. Some people want the manager out, some people like him, some people think that other things are to blame or the things aren't going well for various reasons. And that's part of the joy of being a football fan. We get to look at the games and situations and we all view them differently. So you'll never get slagged by me for supporting your club and your manager. PSG night kit was amazing. Wish we got some cool design like that. I don't like it. I really don't. Do you mean the night kit or are you talking about the Jordan kit? I just don't like Nike personally, but I'm sure they sold a shit ton of them. But don't get me wrong. I'm sure from a financial standpoint it was a very good deal. Okay, where else have we got? Connor's team for tomorrow: Alisson, Fabinho, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robbo, Hendo, Keita, Gini, Salah, Firmino, Mane. Yeah, that's a pretty good team. I mean, I have no problem with that either, Connor. I think a lot of us are fairly similar in the way we're looking at the setup for tomorrow. I think a few people might have Shaqiri in, a few people have Fabinho in, but we seem to be pretty close. Louis said, Craig, I've seen a lot of American/Liverpool fans that have been debating if Christian Pulisic is overrated. In my opinion, I kind of think he is, but remember we all complained when Oxlade-Chamberlain came in. That's a very good point. A lot of us were a little bit concerned when Oxlade-Chamberlain came in, and he has been fantastic. Injury aside, he's been amazing, and he's won over, I think, every Liverpool fan. Well, anyone that I know anyway has been absolutely won over by him. His attitude is tremendous as well. Claire said, geez, I would almost have Stevie G in goal. Never mind at right back. You play anywhere. I mean, he played right back in that very final, Claire, at one point, don't forget. Right, what else have we got? Pogba's a victim of the status that fans gave him. Now they want him out. Mourinho is fleecing the Manx. If Pogba left, he'd be missed dearly. I think the thing is as well, Byron, when you spend as much money as they did on a player, you expect him to have a big impact when he comes to the club. And was it 90 million or something for Paul Pogba? And with the added incentive that that was a player that they let go for £500,000. I think it was £500,000 a few years beforehand. So, you know, you would have expected him to do a bit better than he has. But I don't know whether that's because of the manager or whether that's because of Paul Pogba. Right, where are we? Yes, that is that picture, Revanite, mate. The funny thing is, even though my wife's probably watching this, she knows I actually have a crush on Stacey Dooley. I think she's gorgeous. So yeah, so that picture was strange seeing it. Fuck Nike, said Pepper Red, and I'm with you, Adidas all day. New Balance for the minute, but I'd love Adidas if we were to change. Claire Dean said 3-0, United won't get past their defence or our goalkeeper. Another 3-0 as well in the chat. Who was that one from? Pepper Red's gone for 3-0. It's Alex's 11 for tomorrow is Alisson, Robbo, VVD, Lovren, Fabinho at right back, Keita, Gini, Milner, Salah, Firmino and Mane. Again, there's very few little tweaks in that. For most of us are going for the same core of players, I think. Garcia was too inconsistent. People just remember his highlights. Exactly, Brian. And Kev has put in the link there, by the way, to the Anfield Agenda Instagram. If anybody can see it there, it says follow me on Instagram, username @AnfieldAgenda. And there it is, there's the link. So if you're on Instagram, if that's your thing, then click on that link there. That'll bring you to our account. And of course, give it a follow, because Kev's doing great things over there, growing that account for us. So thank you, Kev. What else have we got? It's heartbreaking. Gonna take my mum to Manchester on Tuesday. He'll be loved, and I'll see him now and again. Sorry, I missed part 1 of that conversation, mate. I better find it, because you deserve it to be read, so bear with me. Where's G.I. Jose's part 1 of the conversation? The conversation moves so fucking quickly on here. Okay, we got after that one, so then there must be another comment. Mate, if I missed this comment, I do sincerely apologise. I want to read it for you. Thanks, Greg. Hope you're well too. Remember, somewhere to live. They don't allow pets, so I won't be able to keep my dog. It's heartbreaking. We're going to take him to my mum's near Manchester on Tuesday. He'll be loved and I'll see him every now and again. Yeah, I've had similar issues, mate, at times before I settled in where I live now. And yeah, it can be really difficult sometimes to find the right place and be able to bring a pet in. At least you've got your mum there as an option to look after him, so I'm sure he'll be loved. And as I said, you'll get to see him every now and again, and it might only be short term, and he's going to your mum's though, so you know he'll be spoiled rotten. Milner at right back, and Klein can come towards the end. This gives Klopp an opportunity to take Milner off, movement to midfield if needed, which is a good show. But again, it still kind of takes away a substitution option for Klopp. It kind of leaves us pretty stranded and said that has to come off at some point. Ferno, to Liverpool, Pulisic has already closed it, said Jose David Lopez, who's followed by Guillaume Balaguer. I have to say, I will take... There's very little I've ever given myself credit for on this channel and actually put it down to me. But if we sign Pulisic, I'm going to take a little bit of credit for this one, because somebody pulled up a tweet of mine from 2016 where I was talking about him eventually coming to Liverpool and that I think it's a good move for the club. So if he comes, it's not going to be an I told you so, because I'm not that much of an asshole. But it'll be a very, very happy Craig if that happens. King Kenny was a massive ABBA fan, said Gareth Phillips. I did not know that. What do you mean was? He still is. Is a massive ABBA fan. He's still around, mate. And it's Sir King Kenny these days. Claire's team is Alisson, Millie, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robbo, Gini, Fabinho, Keita, Mane, Bobby, Salah. My team, come on the Reds. Anybody going to the game tomorrow, by the way? Anyone in the chat lucky enough to be going to the game? Love to hear from you. Love to know what you're expecting. Sam said, yeah, the Jordan logo on the kit. I guess it depends on your taste. I personally love the Liverpool kit with Carlsberg sponsoring us. Yeah, I do as well. We had a chat the other night, Sam, on the stream. We were saying if the deal with Standard Chartered was to end tomorrow, who would you like to come in as new sponsors? And Carlsberg and Coca-Cola, I think, were the two that people ended up saying. And I think both mainly because it would look good on the kit. Wizzy Rabbit said, I'm feeling the nerves now. These games are massive. The biggest game in sport. I mean, you'd be amazed to see the numbers that will be tuning in around the world to watch the Liverpool-Manchester United game tomorrow. It does huge numbers around the world. Nathan Carter has obviously had a stroke or something looking at the team he's put out there for tomorrow. Man United are still shit, or are shit, said Laura Mitchell. Liverpool legend said, I really would not mind Sancho. He's got creativity. However, he won't leave Dortmund for Liverpool maybe next season once he's won the Bundesliga. Look, he is... We spoke the other night about the 10 players in the world whose values have increased the most over the past 3 months. And there was what's the phrase I'm looking for? Not an investigation, but there was something done by one of these massive accounts that put together all these numbers and come up with these statistics. And Sancho topped that pile. They reckoned his value was gone from about 8.5, 9 million up to nearly 90 million euro in the last 3 months because of how well he's been doing at Dortmund. So I think there'll be a lot of players, or a lot of clubs, coming in to look to bring him very soon. Do you know our new sponsor will be Nike? There's a lot of guesswork, Dimitar, gone around about that one, and there's a couple of things I'd say on that. One, there's another year at least that I know of on this standard chart, or not standard chart, on this New Balance deal. So if it is true, that would mean that we're going to be cancelling the deal with New Balance, which would mean obviously the club would be paying some type of a penalty. But looking at it in the longer term, FSG, and I think New Balance are a Boston-based company as well. I think they are. I know Warrior were, which are part of New Balance. I think they're a Boston-based company. Look at the long term. Would FSG want to piss them off? Would they want to fall out with them? Because if you think about it, they have other businesses, interests in America, other sports franchises. And would they want to piss off New Balance going forward? I don't know. I haven't got a clue, is the honest answer, Dimitar. I've seen a lot of people talking about Nike. Personally, I'd much prefer it to be Adidas. Adidas, New Balance that we have now, or Under Armour, would be lovely. I just have something about Nike shirts and them not being fitting for Liverpool. I don't know what it is. And I don't like how much they charge for the shirts either. Nike shirts and Adidas shirts, to some extent these days, they're overpriced. Yeah, I see somebody asking about spanners there. As we explained on a few shows, we're not giving any more out for the time being because we just want things to settle down a little bit. Liverpool should win tomorrow, said Laura. I agree, I really do. Adidas all the way, said Nathan. Oh, look at this, I've nearly caught up with the chat, so I'm going to go back through and find some more. October said, my friend and her husband got offered tickets to the match tomorrow and cancelled because they'd former plans. If I could fly there tonight, I'd take them. I really would. I mean, Jesus, not being able to get the tickets, I'd take them as well. The Carlsberg kits are probably the best kits in the world, said Robbie. Nice one, Robbie. Won't Fabinho play right back, said Spank Me Santa. I like that name. He could do. He could well play right back, mate. But so could Jimmy Milner. I mean, this is just guesswork at the end of the day. If Fabinho was to go in and play right back, I'd be just as happy with that one. I don't know, Mark, if it's true that Sir Alex Ferguson dated Trent's grandmother. I really don't know if that's true or not. Liverpool should sign Lukaku. Now, you're alright. You're alright, mate. We don't want them. What if we draw? Will I be upset? Frustrated, I think, mate. It depends on the game. It depends on how the draw comes about. But yeah, it would affect us because there's no point in Liverpool going top of the league for a week. We want to stay there. But we want to stay there as long as we can and keep the pressure up. So to go for 1 week and then drop points tomorrow and go back second, it wouldn't be great. So it would be frustrating. And because it's at Anfield as well, you have to go there expecting 3 points. United are going to lose 10 million or 10 million nil. Is that what you're trying to say, Laura? I don't know. Stephen Taggart, how are you, sir? Great to have you in. Won't Fabinho play right back? We've done that one as well. Are we better than last year? It's a difficult question. And I understand why you've asked it, because at the moment we're not attacking with the same fluidity that we have last year. But at the same time, it was only after Christmas last year where we really got into our stride. Now this year we started off and the focus seems to have been on not conceding. And look where we are in the table. So I guess we can't really complain. Are we better than last year? The answer has to be yes, because of the league position and because of the points that we've totaled so far. I think this time last year we were already miles away from the title race, maybe 10 or 14 points outside it. This year we're still in the Champions League, albeit we scraped through, let's be honest about it. We're top of the table as things stand, but we're right up there challenging. We're out of the League Cup, but who gives a fuck about the League Cup? So I would say yes, we are better than last year. We'll get the attack right, we'll find the right balance, and it's not conceding wins your titles, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We've had a good attack for years, we've scored loads of goals, but we haven't been able to shut teams out or see games out. We're starting to get that now. There's a bit more professionalism coming into the team. And we're able to see games out 1-0, which you've never ever seen with Liverpool. Well, I say never ever. You haven't seen with Liverpool in a very long time, going back to maybe Rafa Benitez days. So sad for Man United fans that City are a bigger club. I'd be gutted if Everton done that, said Tony. To be fair, as much as it kills me to say this, because I don't ever want to give United credit, there's no way the Manchester City are a bigger club than Manchester United. There just isn't. It's some fucking Egypt, by the way, and I never read this out to you yesterday. I had some absolute clown come over and troll me from. So he came. This is the story. I was reading through the chats from last night's stream or the comments, and there was some lad said, "Fuck you, you Irish prick." Over on the United Stand channel, Bad Mountain City were totally in your heads. So I had to think about this, and I had to remember what the fuck the guy was talking about. And I remember I was speaking about where we are in the league and challenging with Manchester City and stuff like that, and I went on to say how much I really didn't like Manchester City. So this lad came up, he went onto the United, he's a City fan, let's remember this. He went onto the United Stand channel to watch a Liverpool fan on a United channel, and then came from there over to the Liverpool account to troll a Liverpool fan about mentioning Manchester City and saying that we're in their heads. Or they're in our heads, excuse me. I think it's the other way around here. And the funny part about all this was, all the trolling and stuff that he did, his fucking Avi was of a Barcelona player. I mean, so there you go. That's the type of nonsense trolling we have to deal with. Imagine going from one of your rivals' accounts to another one of your rivals' accounts, watching their videos, and then having the cheek to say that they're in our heads. I've never looked at a single Manchester City video in my life. I don't even know if Manchester City have a YouTube account. I wouldn't waste my time watching it. Who was it that let Sancho go? Wasn't he a Man City player? I could be wrong. I think he was a Man City player. If United don't win, I'll eat my own toenails. I want the video of that, Emperor Palpatine. I want the video of you eating your toenails tomorrow, pal. When we beat you. I won't say if, when. Callum Ross said, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm watching you on the match live. Thank you, Callum. And for anybody wondering, we will be doing a watch along tomorrow, and we'll be starting about 3:20 PM. And it won't just be me tomorrow. Connor will be here to join me for the game. So looking forward to that one. And when we do our watch alongs, what we do is you get a bit of alternative commentary. We dip into the live chat. We do not show the game. We have to be clear about that one. We just give you real-time commentary. We go into the chat. We give you reactions. And we hopefully celebrate together. They've done really well recently. Last week's one had, I think, nearly 63,000 views. So they're becoming quite popular. I love doing them. It'll be great having Connor here with me as well. Liverpool should win, said Laura Mitchell. Absolutely. Just saying Clavin and Mignolet out tomorrow, and we'll probably still nick a 2-1 win. Darren Maguire said, these are going to park the bus and hit us on the break. They're looking for a draw. Scoreless, boring United. Darren, I wish I could say otherwise, mate, but that's exactly where my head is as well. But I'm really interested to see what team they go with, because I think Mourinho is going to do something ridiculous. Pick some nonsense team just to try and prove a point. Something like he did the summer when he wanted to make a point about how young his team was in that game, so he could cover up for the kicking that they were going to get. A lot of people talking about how good for a profile in the US signing Pulisic would be. That's part of it, but the difference it would make to his profile is enormous. Bigger for him than us. Oh, absolutely, Brian. Oh, it would work both ways. No sure thing. But he could also increase that profile at most other clubs. It'd be a win-win for me if we signed Christian Pulisic, but I get where you're coming from. He wouldn't be doing us a massive favour by any stretch of the imagination. Nathan said Adidas all the way. Luke Han said I love Liverpool. Right, what else have we got? A few more comments to get through. Thought I'd caught up with them, but there you go. Liverpool have earned the respect to badmouth City, said Yasser. Only hot sauce wants an asshole like Mourinho. What else have we got here? Everton lost 3-1 for somebody who was asking that one today against Manchester City. Who do you think we should sign in January or the summer, Connor? Christian Pulisic, mate, is the one I want. A lot of people will want Fekir as well to come in January. A couple of people looking for a defender. What I think we need, and I don't know if they'll come in January or in the summer, but what I think we need is another defender, probably a full-back, and we need an attacking player, and whether that's a 10 or a wide forward, I don't know. And anything after that I think would depend on players that leave. I'd be amazed if Mignolet doesn't leave next summer, so we probably need a backup keeper. Personally, I'd let Creevy and Kelleher get promoted to the role, but I know some other people would like a more experienced keeper. Again, Connor, though, I'd love to know what your thoughts are, buddy. One day City will fill that stadium. They fill it every week, mate, with ticket sales, but nobody goes to the game. But they fill it every week, according to the ticket stubs. Is this the most competitive YouTube Premier League... Or is this... Excuse me, I'll start this one again. YouTube said, is this the most competitive Premier League season ever? Liverpool and City in the title race. Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs in the top 4 race. It's pretty close. It really is. And for somebody to miss out on the top 4, it's going to be gutting for that set of fans in that club, because Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs have done pretty well this season. I mean, they've put in a really good performance. It's just, as you said, so tight at the minute. I hope it stays this way for the entire season. Obviously, I hope we stay atop, but I hope the league stays competitive. It makes it more interesting for everybody. What else have we got? I'd love to smash them tomorrow, but I also love a shithouse winner in the last minute, said Connor. Craig, we're in every fucker's head, said Stephen Richards. We are. They're constantly posting about us. I told you, I looked at one Manchester City's fan, his account on Twitter, and he mentioned Liverpool in his account, in his bio, more than he did Manchester United, or Manchester City, excuse me. I'm Manchester United mad at the minute, because it's who we're playing tomorrow, and every time I look at the screen, I see the logo beside ours there, so it's in my fucking head. But yeah, he's a Manchester City fan, and he got Liverpool mentioned in his bio on Twitter more than Manchester City. That's how much we're in these fuckers' heads. In a way, everyone's in everybody's heads, which again is true to an extent. But what you don't get is Liverpool fans singing about other clubs or singing about other teams' players. You certainly wouldn't get... Like, Liverpool played Everton recently and beat them 1-0. I have to remind you of that. And beat them 1-0. It would have been 0-0 except for Jordan Pickford's little tiny T-Rex arms and the fact that he's a cabbage who should never have jumped to catch that ball. But we'll park that up and just say, ha, fuck you. But you'd never have heard us singing about Manchester City before that game. Why the fuck would we? But yet when Manchester City play Manchester United in a derby game, they're singing about Liverpool? They're singing the LA song and talking about Scousers in it? What the hell goes through your head? That's just the biggest sign of weakness you're ever going to get. Liverpool fans couldn't give a fuck what happens with City. Other than finishing below us in the league, we don't care what happens to them. Where are you from? I'm from Cork. I'm originally from Dublin, pal, but now I live in Wexford. And I will live here probably for the rest of my life because I really like it. City fans were singing LA today, said Mossy. They were indeed. Just watching Pulisic to LFC, great video and facts. I didn't even know there was one. Oh, Connor must have clipped that up, did he? I didn't even know it was there. That's how quickly Connor gets stuff done. I didn't know he'd made that video. I think that came from this stream as well. The City bastards nicked our LA anthem. They have no originality, pal. Surely you know this by now. They have absolutely no originality. I'll be watching you in the watch along as always, said Scotty. Thank you, pal. I'm really looking forward to the one tomorrow. It should be good fun. Can Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain play left wing? Not at the minute, he can't. Can't play anywhere at the minute. He can play anywhere though, across the front three or an attacking midfield position. Kevin De Bruyne is class. Undissable really, but not Gerrard level. Yeah, he is. He's brilliant. There's no denying that. And none of us are going to sit here and say Manchester City don't have great players. They do. Sterling has been brilliant. If he could finish, my God, what a player he'd be. But he's been fantastic. De Bruyne, as you've said, is an excellent footballer. Absolutely wonderful. And they've got great players. There's no denying that. But they're just another football team. They're not infallible. They're beatable like anybody else. And the fact that they just can't get one over on us is hilarious. We knocked them out of the Champions League when they were favourites to win it, and they bitched about it, constantly crying about the reasons why, blaming the referees, blaming a can of Copperberg, blaming a welcome, by the way, that they said would not affect their players, that the COP and the welcome they received, it's only another game, so we've been to Anfield before. They disrespected us the entire way through it and then cried like little bitches when we knocked them out. Couldn't take it with any good grace, and for once in this I include their manager, who I always have the height of respect for. But in this scenario, he didn't take it well. We did not get the respect that we deserved from knocking them out of that very, very easily over 2 legs. We beat them at Anfield, we beat them at the Etihad, and they didn't take it very well. It was everybody else's fault. Cans of Copperbergs, referees, UEFA, hadn't got the good grace to say that we lost to a better side over 2 legs. And that's what makes me sick in these situations. If Manchester City, if we played them this year in the Champions League, and they beat us, you won't hear a single fucking excuse out of my mouth. When we lost to Real Madrid, even with what happened, I wasn't making excuses. Because it can't change the game. What happens on that pitch over the 180 minutes of 2 legs is all that matters. Everything else is just conjecture and bullshit. You're a professional athlete. If you cannot handle a can of whatever the fuck it was, Copperberg or whatever it was, hitting a bus, and that scared you so much that you can't go out on the field and play, then you shouldn't be playing the game. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It shouldn't happen in the first place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that type of behaviour is acceptable. The fan, whoever it was, whether he was a Liverpool fan or not, whoever threw that at the bus deserves to be locked up. There's no place for that in the sport. But at the same time, if I'm a player and that happens, that makes me angry. I want to go out on that pitch and prove a point. And they didn't. And they looked for excuses. And they looked for scapegoats. And they hadn't got an ounce of class about them in the way they went about it. And that's what pisses me off. And I think that's why a lot of Liverpool fans don't have much respect for City at this point. Apart from the fact that they're financially doping as well, but that's a whole other conversation. Divock Origi is a cheat code in the Merseyside derby, which is a great way of putting it. City have great players and crooked owners. City were singing LA today to Anthony Peters. Do you know any Campbells living in Ireland, pal? Yeah, there's a few. Surprisingly, there is a few. What have we got? It's kicking off. Where? City fans singing about Manchester Derby, singing about United, the people who called them the noisy neighbours. Good to know they're scared of us. Spanner fight. Wait, what's going on? Please do tell. What am I missing? What happened to your move to Texas? I did say it was 12 to 18 months away, pal. I mean, it's not as simple as me just saying I'm moving to Texas tomorrow, getting a green card, sorting out stuff for my autistic son, sorting out schools for the 2 kids, getting a job for myself, finding a house. That doesn't just happen overnight. Craig, it's because we're a club with class, unlike Manchester City and Chelsea. We use class. Our manager uses class. Napoli and Porto were singing LA, LA, LA before us. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we completely nicked that song. Be under no illusions. That song has been doing the rounds in Europe for many, many, many years. Absolutely. I mean, that is not our song. Anyone that thinks otherwise is just wrong. City fans are going like the United fans and losing the plot. Craig Connor, I got timed out, or I timed out October by mistake. Yeah, that's okay, mate. Mistakes happen. Just be a bit careful going forward. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back to where I was in the chat. Loving the new setup, said Roberto. Thank you, mate. We thought we might freshen it up a little bit. Excuse me. Connor said October, he made you a mod so you can't be timed out again. So there you go. Thank you for sorting that one out, Connor. Do you think we'll struggle to get through the bus, said Jordan Tucker. No, I don't, Jordan. Because I actually don't know why. Because I can't give you a reason why. Because I can't say what's going to happen for sure. But I'm confident that we're going to start quickly. And I'm confident that we'll score within the first 30 minutes. It might be blind optimism, pal. But there's only so much defending you can do. And if they do sit back and defend, then it will be something that our players will have been coached through for the entire week leading up to this game. We had the game on Tuesday. They might get a rest on Wednesday. But they'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday to prepare. And I would expect that all they were doing were drills, pulling defending teams from one side of the pitch to another, trying to create space, trying to get balls in behind, trying to find ways of dragging people out of position. And it's up to us to do that and exploit the weaknesses if there are any there. whether it be a player who's slightly out of position for a second, a player caught upfield. When you're playing these type of teams that do sit back like this, you've got to capitalise on any little slip up in system or formation, and that's why sometimes we talk about managers' tactical awareness and how good Jose Mourinho is at coming and getting a 0-0 draw. But at the same time, you can't account for a moment of brilliance by Shaqiri or a Salah run down the line where he makes a few people and sticks within top bins. But we can't expect that either as fans, so it's tough to say. But I'm hoping, I'm optimistic that we're going to get a win tomorrow. Alright, where are we? Manchester's obsessed with buses. United park theirs and City cry about theirs. We won't struggle against the bus because they're leaky shites, leaking 26 goals and they can't defend. I had nice three mates. Salah hat-trick tomorrow. I'd love that. I'd fucking love a Salah hat-trick. Manchester United is one of the clubs, maybe the only club, I'm not sure, but Mo Salah's never scored against Manchester United for Liverpool, so he wants to put that one right. All Napoli really did was defend the first half when we scored after 34 minutes. Now think about Napoli's defence and United's defence. We should have scored 5 or 6, Robbie, against Napoli. I mean, Sadio missed a hat-trick at least, and with very, very many other opportunities, and they hadn't got much. We restricted them to a couple. I think they had a chance in the first half, and then of course they had that chance to Milik at the end where Alisson Becker just saved their asses. There's no two ways about that. But that just goes to show you can concentrate for 90 minutes and switch off right at the end and get punished. We were lucky that our goalkeeper saved us. Luke said he got timed out. I didn't see it, mate, so I don't know what to say. If it's an attempt to get made a mod, then it's not happening, I'm afraid. But if you were timed out, I apologise. Paul Kurza said, we've only scored something like 42% of our goals in the first half this season. We shouldn't be downhearted if we go 0-0 at half time. We'll finish them off in the second half. I'm with you, Paul. I didn't know that stat, mate, so thank you for letting me know. But I'm with you. I never give up. You should know that by now. Even against Everton, 88 minutes, I seen the screen filling up with people moaning about the draw, people saying give the title to Manchester City, and I was saying believe, believe, believe. You've got to believe. While that game is in progress, while you have a chance, you've got to believe. So if we're 0-0 at half time, Paul, I'm certainly not going to be downhearted, buddy. I'll believe that we go out in the second half and get the win. If it's 88 minutes and it's 0-0, I'll still believe that we can get the win. And I'm sure you will as well. And hopefully a few more people will after what happened against Everton. We've conceded 1 goal at home in the Premier League this season. There you go. We've only conceded 6 overall and nobody has scored more than 1 in the Premier League. City will win the league, said Dennis Williams. They may well do, Dennis. They may well. I guess none of us know. You'd have to say they're probably the favourites. I mean, even as Liverpool fans, we're probably saying that one, but we're going to do our best, and I believe Liverpool can give them a good run, as I believe most Liverpool fans do. But if City go on to win the league, then they'll deserve it, so what can you say? Thoughts on Leeds getting promoted? A lot of my uncles support Leeds, so there's a lot of love for Leeds in my family. Of course, they'd be the older uncles, though, looking back to the days of John Giles and stuff. I don't really have much feeling on Leeds either way. It's a jaggy babs. But they should be in the Premier League, I think. They would be one of those clubs that when you think of, you'd imagine them being in the top level of football. And their manager is a brilliant nut job. I absolutely love Bielsa. I love his strategy as a manager. I read a couple of stories about him earlier on in his career and that as well, and he's a very, very colourful character. So if they get back up, fair fucks to them. It's really hard to get out of the Championship. It's such a difficult league to get out of. So anybody that does get promoted, you know, has guts, and you know that they play decent football to be able to get up to the Premier League, because it's a damn hard league to get out of. Who should Liverpool buy in January? A 10 and a wide attacking forward, but I don't think we will actually bring anybody in January. We might get a deal done for the summer, but again, I'm just guessing. I haven't got a clue. Craig, I was watching a guy on Twitch and he's a United fan. He said Virgil should have been sent off against Napoli for the foul on Mertens. Yeah, look, you're going to get a lot of that, Scotty. My answer to that is simple. When we were playing Burnley, I was screaming at the referee on the television for the tackles that Burnley were getting away with. They were winning the ball, There's no doubt about that. But they were following through and taking the man out of it time and time and time again. And it happened for the one where Gomez went off. It happened for his fracture. It happened a couple of times earlier in the game. And what we were being told by Sean Dyche and what we were being told in commentary at the time was they won the ball. The follow-through was incidental. Now, you look at the situation with Dries Mertens and that tackle by Virgil van Dijk, and there's a couple of things there. One, Van Dijk, people said he was off the ground. He wasn't. He was about 18 inches. His foot wasn't even over the top of the ball. Two, look at the angle that they both came in from. They came in at 90 degrees. So when Virgil went to originally slide for that ball, you look at it and you say, could Mertens have rode the challenge? Could he have jumped over his foot? They came in at right angles like this. So it was very, very difficult to read what was going to happen there. There's no denying he caught him. We can't deny that. It's clear. It's on camera. But what I will say is, it wasn't intentional. He wasn't out of control. And I don't believe he was reckless. They're the things I believe you have to be tick those boxes to get a red card. I think a booking was probably the right thing. I would see, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I can't say that the tackles from Burnley players scream at them and not want them to be a foul and not believe that Van Dijk's was probably a foul. A foul and probably yellow is the right thing to do with a referee. But why weren't we getting those decisions against Burnley? That's why I'm pissed off in these situations. Because you get one thing about referees in the Premier League and then you get a completely different thing about referees in Europe or even referees in the Championship in the Premier League. I'm pissed off with this lack of a level playing field. And I'm not saying referees favour one team over the other. Not at all. Referees are fucked over every team in the Premier League. Left, right and centre. I just think the standard of officiating right across the board in the Premier League is terrible. And you guys have heard me saying this after we've won games. I don't just do this moaning about losing games. We beat Burnley. We beat Napoli. I still think that the referees are shite. Absolute shite. That referee, by the way, in Paris, for the Paris Saint-Germain game, which was one that we lost, but he was terrible. Absolutely terrible. United don't have the tools to stand up to us. We'll get through them early and that'll be the end of them. Craig, I'm thinking about going to reside in Toronto. Have you been there and think it would be good to emigrate to? I have been there. My wife has 3 lots of family over there. I say Toronto, it's just a little bit outside. It's in Mississauga, which is just kind of, I think it's a suburb of Toronto. But yeah, I was there. It was a long time ago and I really liked it. Beautiful city, really nice people. A little bit too cold in the winter for me. But yeah, if you're thinking of moving there, I mean, it's a lovely place to live. Canada is a great spot. Canadian people are lovely and there's loads of Irish over there as well. So I mean, what more could you want? I don't care if we win in 90 plus 10 minutes, said Liverpool legend. Either do I. As long as the 3 points are there at the end of the game, that's all I care about. Jay Gould said, I'm a new subscriber. Hello to everybody. Jay, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Great to hear you hit that subscribe button. Guys, if you are watching, we have about 15 minutes left on tonight's stream. I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Is there anything you want us to go through for the last 15 minutes, guys? Any topics or anything you want to talk about? Any predictions for tomorrow? Anything like that? Please do put them in the chat. There was a question here somewhere. I'm trying to scroll back up to it. Have I missed it? Where's the question? Sorry, there was a question somewhere here. I'm just trying to get back up to it. Went through that one, went through that one. Where was that question gone? October has put in her details there for Instagram and Twitter if anyone wants to give her a follow. Milner playing on the right, he always assists Salah, could be a blessing. Good crosser too, said yes sir. How to be a Burnley player. Have no real talents, be mediocre at football, be big and physical as much as you can. Pretty much 11 boulders. That also applies to being a Mourinho player. Craig, you're not watching the boxing, mate? I will, Alex, don't worry. As soon as I'm finished here, that's what's going on the television. I don't think Rocky Fielding has a hope in hell against Canelo. He has the 5 or 6 inches on him in height, but can he keep him at distance? I doubt it. I think Canelo will be too strong for him. We've seen what happened when Callum Smith connected with Rocky Fielding in the first round. That was his only loss so far, to be fair, and he went over, beat Zoiga and won that title, so you've got to give him credit for that one, but it would be a massive upset if he beat Canelo Alvarez. I mean, if it goes to points, it doesn't matter if he beats Canelo for 12 rounds, you still won't get to the decision. If you beat him, you've got to knock him out, but at the same time, I don't think he will. Amir, I didn't time you out, mate. I haven't timed anybody out. A few people saying they were timed out tonight. It wasn't me for a start. I haven't timed a single person out on this entire stream yet. Here's a Discord link as well for the Revenite, and I have to say the Discord group is brilliant. So if you don't know what Discord is, and you're like me, because I hadn't got a clue, but it was explained to me, it's just like another chat group, another chat forum where you can go in when we're not streaming and talk to the Reds from the channel. It's really good. Switch on the notifications and you get notified every time somebody puts in a new comment. It's brilliant. I really enjoy it in there when I drop in and out. The Revenite has put the link in there, so if anybody does want to join, click on that one, pop in and say hello to everybody. And 3:20 tomorrow, guys, for the watch along. So I hope you'll all join us for that one. Myself and Connor will be taking you through the game. And then on Monday night, of course, we have Mr. Goldbridge popping over from the United stand to do a reaction show for the game. And that'll be about 10 o'clock. Martin Young said, I'm so nervous. What time for Rocky? I've no idea what time the ring walk is. It's in New York, so I think they're 5 hours. So I'd say you're probably talking 3 a.m. ring walk, maybe, something like that. I could be wrong though. What would Mourinho's job be once he gets sacked? I think he'll be one of those guys who tries to sell you a rose on the beach. Yeah, he strikes me. He definitely wouldn't be one of the lads in the toilets trying to sell you aftershave or get a tip off you, because he hasn't got the personality for that. He's yeah, those lads selling roses on the beach, they can be miserable bastards at times. So good shout, Connor. Could well be one of those. Peter Dalton said, have a nice Christmas, man. Thank you, mate, and same to you and same to your family as well. Thank you for the kind words. When does the match start? I'm not sure, mate, if you're talking about the boxing or the game tomorrow. The game tomorrow kicks off at 4 p.m. UK time, and the boxing, I don't know when the ring walk is, so I don't want to give you misinformation. Must be the ghost of the night bot timing people out. I don't know, I haven't seen people timed out, by the way, and I've been looking at the screen, so I'm not sure what's happening. Mark said 3:30 for the fight tomorrow, or for the fight tonight with Rocky Fielding. Thank you, mate. This channel is not family friendly, that's why it's so late. Yeah, look, the reason it's so late as well is because I have a family and I have to make sure my kids are in bed and all before I can come on and stream. I managed to do the watch alongs because my wife is generous enough to bring the kids out or away for a while so I can do them. But yeah, that's why we do them, and also because, as Ferno said, it's not really a family friendly show. We do use a lot of language. I do warn people about that as well from time to time to make sure they know before we start. And it's also in the stream notes that we use language. So, yeah, that's why we're late. And it is called the Late Night Agenda as well, let's be fair. I can see Jose at PSG, said Liverpool. I can see him back at Inter, personally. The match is at 6 in Amir's country. Would you rather win the Champions League, the FA Cup, or just the league? Just the league, Jordan, mate. For me, it's the league. It has to be the league. As a Liverpool fan who was born in 1981, I'm 37 years of age. It's been a long time since we last won the league. What is it now, 30 or 26 years, something like that? 26, 27 years since we won the league. So yeah, it's got to be the league, buddy. It's what I go to sleep thinking about, what I wake up thinking about, what I come on here talking about. It's all about the Premier League for me this year. Anything else is a bonus, but I would really kill for that Premier League. The Koulibaly is probably top 4. My top 4 is VVD, Chiellini, Koulibaly and Varane for Andre. I think he's talking about centre backs. Fuckity fuck. I like that one. Pepper Red. What are your opinions on Sané? He's brilliant, Connor. That's my opinion on him. I really wanted him at Liverpool when Manchester City signed him from Schalke. He is quality, and he's going to just keep getting better and better and better. Yeah, so that's my opinion on him. I'm sorry it's short and sweet, but I really rate him very highly. And they've got a great player on their hands there. Kills me to say it. I wish he was at our club. I think he would have done brilliant for us as well. But he's an absolutely outstanding player that will, unfortunately, I think, just keep getting better. And I hate saying that, but I've got to be honest. No point in me coming on here and being a fucking hypocrite and telling you stuff that isn't the truth. I've always tried to be honest, even if it's not what people want to hear. Jose will take his millions and pay off and always claim to be the greatest, says Sean. I mean, it must really annoy United fans hearing him talk about his 3 league titles. I'm sure they don't give a shite about what Jose Mourinho has won in the past, because he hasn't won them at United, so fuck him. Ferno said, my dad was born in 81 too, Craig. You can be my dad. I'm alright. You don't want me as your dad. Trust me, you don't want me as your old lad. I'm awful. But it is mad thinking that I'm talking to you and your dad was born in 81 as well. So that's so let me guess then, you must be about 14, Ferno, I'm guessing. About 13, 14 years of age. Craig, where in Dublin are you originally from? Shankill, Mark. Very, very, very South Dublin. The furthest point south in Dublin, just before you hit Bray, which is of course County Wicklow. So yeah, Shankill, Mark. The league is the only thing that matters from now until we win it, said Brian. Damn right. 28 years since we won the league. It's a long... Yeah, it was 92. Sorry, I was thinking it was fucking 2017 in my head. That's how behind I am, and that's how dozy I am. Lovely Roy Sane, said Pepper Red. Came on the stream, having had the shittiest day. My mental health hasn't been the best lately, but I feel a lot better now. Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Reds. October, I'm glad to hear you're feeling a bit better, mate, and thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you on the stream. I'm glad we could make you feel a little bit better, and the people in the chat as well. But look, I hope your mental health improves. I hope it stays well. And if it hasn't, if you're not feeling great, don't forget to talk to somebody, pal. It's really important in these situations. Don't ever be on your own. Don't ever feel you're on your own. Reach out to friends, family, your doctor if needs be. But don't ever feel like you're on your own, especially at this time of the year. It can be tough. But we'll be here every night from 10. You know that one, so always pop on and have a chat with us. Craig, I'll be watching the game thanks to my brother tomorrow. He's giving me his Fire Stick. Nice one, Charlene. They're only £25 by the way at the minute on Amazon if anyone needs a Fire Stick for streaming Netflix or anything else like that. Leroy Sané's dad played for Senegal. I did not know that. Thank you for that one, Ferno. Independent had a great article on how Liverpool basically mismanaged and did not adapt properly to the Premier League era emerged. That might explain some of the 27 years. Look, Dave, it's or Farrell. Sorry, I keep using your name by accident. I haven't read the article, but what you've said there is spot on. We did not move with the times. When the Premier League era started, Manchester United start extending Old Trafford. They start expanding commercially. They start making more deals than we did. Look, when we won the Champions League final, I know people know this. When we won it in 2005, the fucking club shop was closed the next day. Closed. Now, it was done for a nice reason. Because they wanted to bring all the staff over to Istanbul. So it was done with kindness in mind. But it was completely the wrong move to make. We should have cashed in on that immediately. Stuff should have gone on sale. I think we used to actually farm out our online sales to another company. We didn't even look after them ourselves. We were so far behind. So I'll read this article. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm sure it's spot on because we've played catch up for a very, very long time. And since FSG have taken us over, we have brought in more commercial deals. I think at one point we've more than quadrupled the amount of commercial partners the club have and the finances that are coming in. And look, football has grown as well. So with that and TV revenue and stuff like that, money has gone up in the game. But yeah, we were very, very slow. Sam, I'd love to explain the comment, your question, mate. I can't do because of YouTube's rules and because I don't want to get the channel in trouble. But what I could say to you is, pal, one of my friends on Twitter has a really good account, Awesome Streams, I think his name is. If he might be in the chat. Sam, if you're on Twitter, mate, just message me on Twitter at Craig the Host or Anfield Agenda and I'll talk you through it there, buddy. But I can't do it on here because it's against the rules of YouTube and I don't want to break the rules. Klein's forgotten, said Quiet Man. He's not really, he's just coming back from an injury. And if he was to play tomorrow, Klopp has said he doesn't think he'd make the full 90. So there is that as well. Right, what else we got? Love United, hey Jose. I can understand that. Dennis, mate, I really can. I don't think you're alone in that one as well. I think a lot of United fans seem very, very frustrated at the minute with what's going on with the manager. Really need to invest in one of those New Balance LFC caps. Yeah, they're tasty. They're nice, alright. I'm so happy with those runners that I bought recently. The away ones, the purple and orange ones. The New Balance ones, they're really nice. Anybody buy the black shirt, by the way? I've been interested in this one. Did anybody actually take the plunge and buy that blackout LFC shirt that went on sale? Also, they said the land around Old Trafford was much easier to buy and develop. That was the initial issue. Liverpool couldn't expand, compete in a non-TV deal era. Gate shop sales were paramount. Again, they probably could have done something. If they're able to do it now, I don't know. Look, who am I to say? I'm not involved in the negotiations here. But whatever way you look at it, they are right. We were slow, and United did move on with the times and expand quickly and capitalised on it and brought in good players and built on their foundations and had a period of success. But like I said the other day, football is cyclical, and you can only really stay at the top for so long before you either get complacent or another club comes in or another set of players start coming through. And that's the beauty of football at times. You do have periods of domination, but they don't last forever. Andrew, it was October. It was a lady that had with the mental health struggles, and lovely comment that we're all here. We are all here for everybody, and there's a couple of us in here. And look, I've been open about this myself. I've had my own mental health struggles recently as well. I've been very down. I spoke about getting counselling. I've spoken about seeing somebody to try and get me through the winter times when I really struggle, and I'm happy to talk about that anytime with anybody, because this whole thing of the stigma attached to mental health is bullshit. It's the same as if you fucking hurt your arm, broke your arm, you go to a doctor. People can see your physical illness. They can see you have a sling on. But people can't see what's inside your head. People don't know. You can smile on the outside and you can look like everything's okay. But nobody knows what really goes on inside somebody. So, one, it's absolutely sound to feel. If you feel down, don't worry about it. Go and talk. I don't mean don't worry about it. I mean, you're not broken. Go talk to somebody. Go see a professional. Go seek help. Talk to a mate. There's always somebody out there who listen. And sometimes just getting stuff off your chest can help a little bit. But if it's a long-term thing, then please do go and seek a medical professional's help. Because there's amazing therapies out there now. And maybe you don't like taking medication. Maybe you just want some talk therapy. Maybe you want some counselling. Maybe you want some cognitive behavioural therapy. But there's lots and lots of options out there. And don't be on your own. That's the only thing I can say. Do not be on your own. And don't ever feel like you are, or that nobody cares, because we all fucking care. I love each and every one of you son of a bitches and ladies of bitches, and every single one of you. I love you all. And on that note, I'm going to say goodnight. Brian Morrissey has put in the Twitter handle there on Twitter for the awesome streams, and thank you, mate. Look, guys, I'm going to head off. My throat's absolutely killing me with this flu. You know what a bit of man flu is like, so I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you to everyone that joined. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys, please, on the way out on the stream. And if you're watching for the first time, please do hit that subscribe button. We'll be here at 3:20 tomorrow for that watch along. Myself and Connor taking you through the game against United. Thank you to everyone that joined us, and up the motherfucking Reds.